My name's Adam Manaka and I'm the Financial Controller for High Tech Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at High Tech Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. High Tech Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
Amid the massive field of production cars this weekend, it is terrific to see both the name Brock and MG as a part of the game as well in a factory capacity, James. That's terrific.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. It's stoked to be back. This is the first time back in the seat for me for a couple of years. It's the first time at a racetrack in a competitive capacity for a couple of years, so it's great to be back, seeing lots of familiar smiling faces, so it's good, and obviously to be here with the MG brand, we're absolutely stoked.
Bit of a new step for them here in Australia. I mean, we've seen the likes of Jason Plato in the British Championship back around 2014, but great for them in to be taking a step like this in Oz.
Yeah, look, I suppose we started this journey about 12 months ago. MG came back into Australia in an official capacity, and they invited me along to be a part of their official launch. A friend of mine and myself have been having discussions with them about maybe trying to get into production car racing, and we managed to tick some boxes for them, so thankfully they agreed to work together with us. So over the past 12 months we've been sort of putting plans together. About 3 months ago we actually started on the build of this car. This is the MG6 Fastback. So to be here, to be honest, I haven't had a day off in a couple of months, so it's kind of to get our first race out of the way, and this is literally the first race for MG in official capacity back in Australia. We made up 10 spots from where we qualified, and we lapped our nearest competitor, so mate, I'm absolutely stoked. First in class. It's an awesome way to start the year.
Well, we've been waiting all weekend long to see how the last hour of production car racing takes out in the Jacuzzi Spas Australian production car races. We've had 3 1 hours. We'll go into this final 1 hour as the cars roll around for their final warm-up lap for the last race of round 2 over the Shannons Nationals here at Sandown International Raceway. Here's the highlights from the start, and watch this blue BMW.
10-metre gap.
Oh, yep,
Bates put on.
Have a look at BM just done to haul it away. It was only about 100 metres that it got right up on pace there, but it was enough for it to stamp its authority on the early stanza of this race. And there's the Evo 9 of Miller off in the dirt there. Lucky four-wheel drive, rally ability there.
Drag down the line. That was Nathan Callahan and Rick Bates taking each other on.
And this, yeah, well, I think this is going to be a bit of a chit-chat in the pits after this one. Parramatta Smash Repairs, Mocom, Lotus, the Falcon inside there. I dare say it was just down too low.
Seriously, I don't reckon so.
Yep, that's certainly it. Boy, there was some traffic. Big traffic jams. Here we go, Carlberg playing the number 11s. Lots of horsepower in the AMG. And up nicely there. Evolved Technic BMW coming under fire here from Steve Hodges in the CSV Mondo from High Tech Oils, and then it was on with a bit of a drag race. Continued on for a couple of laps here. Big lock up left rear as he unweighted the car under brakes there, and he was our eventual race winner. Beric Linton receiving the checkered flag there. And Beric Linton will lead the field around. Bob Pearson will line up right next to him with Rick Bates on the next row with Kyle Orford, the first of our Lotuses in position 4. Anthony Sewell in a BMW, and Rod Salmon, which I believe will be Lee Burgess in the 6th position on the grid. Jason Miller will line up in the Evo. Justin Anthony in there. Brad Woods in the 1M, and Thomas Muller rounding out the 10 with 3 1Ms in the 10 here today.
Should also mention the number 1 car, the Shannons BMW M4, an intercooler charge problem. Got hot pretty much all throughout the race, and that restricted their power. It gave up at seas with just a few laps to go, so that was a bit of a shame there for the Shannons. They find themselves back in 2nd last position.
Tomo Tyres and Red Hot Couriers out of Mackay there, so travelling quite a long way to get to Sandown for the 777, and we are away. And again, it's the Product Evos that squirrel their way off the line here. How does the BMW, how does the Lotus go indeed to the run down to turn 1? Here goes the BMW, winds up, draws alongside the Product Evo and goes through again. Will the Lotus join it? Yes, it does. Wow, the poise and balance of the Lotus nearly didn't get through the corner there, Kyle Orford. Nose down, they have to be careful in the Evo. It's almost at window level. We saw an issue with the Falcon with one of the Lotuses in the last race. Nice and low to the ground there, but wow, the BMW and the Lotus lead the field down through turns 1, 2 and 3.
Yeah, funny you bring that up, Jazz. I had a chat to Jeff Russell after the last race about that accident with the Lotus, the Simpson Lotus, and he said he was wanting to get through the corner to pass Amy as we see Rick Bates go off. It's a blow for him.
Up. Wow, potential race winner, parking it up.
Rick Bates, or is it Pearson?
Maybe it's Bob
I only say that because I can't see. No. Yeah, I can't see Pearson on the sheet, so I'd say it might have been Bob.
It is Bob. Sorry about that. Number 33.
Safety
Probably
car
a safety car now that the car's moving again, and it's dropping something out the underside there. So a bit of smoke there for Bob. I wonder if that's a clutch. They have been punishing them, getting them off the line, as we see the BMW Melbourne safety car intervene at the back end of the field. So the safety car, as part of protocol, will remain on the track behind the rescue cars just in case first lap incident like this. And again, like we had last year, we've got Michael Parker here locally driving the safety car for BMW Melbourne and Custom Cars and Coffee. The Custom Cars and Coffee people will join us at the next round at Phillip Island on the Saturday as well, so we look forward to seeing them down there as well.
Just back to the size of that Lotus that you were mentioning before, Daz. I was talking to Jeff Russell after the race, and as he said, he was waiting to go through the corner to pass Amy. She did everything right. She moved to the right. She did everything she had to do. As he went to pass her, the Lotus obviously going to take advantage of the situation at that point. He said, I just did not see him. I've gone left, and I just did not see a car there.
As we sort of surmised before, that's what they're doing. And I think that was almost what happened off the start line there as well with Rick Bates as well. So here they go. And it is going to be Kyle Begg that has the race. No, sorry, it's not. It's Beric Linton to Kyle Orford. But Begg has gone through on Orford now, so the Lotus has gone back to P3. Here comes Rick Bates in the blue and yellow
nice
product. And Jason Miller onto the dirt there, gets through on Lee Burgess as well. So he's in a hurry. The Evo 9 wants to get a result in this race. Car number 20 there, middle of the shot. Here's our number 54, the Simply Sports Cars Alpha. Sorry, not Alpha, Lotus. A long way from an Alpha. The Lotus Exige 350 Sport. Here's the look down the inside. Jason Miller, all four wheels on the dirt. Albeit at slow speed there, just getting through nicely through to there as well. So there's our race leader, Beric Linton. Carl Begg next, then Kyle Orford, Rick Bates, then Muller in the number 38 Class A car, which is Thomas Muller, the 1M. The Jason Racing
Miller,
team.
Muller and Miller
yep.
in 5th and 6th.
That's it. So Thomas Muller will hand over to Shane Smollen. Shane, of course, we've seen charging pretty hard. Very, very experienced Carrera Cup racer. And we see the Lotus Exige 350 Sport from Simply Sports Cars. Great to see Simply Sports Cars throwing some effort at the Australian Production Car Championship. So a long time since we've seen an effort from any Lotus people.
Yeah, the Lotus currently in 3rd. Rick Bates in 4th place, and a nice move up the inside in the number 5 car there by Drew Ridge. Shares that car with Brad Woods, the Marks car, the 1M BMW. Compulsory window open, and cars come in. Now, should mention too, and I think we have throughout the commentary, the cars are not to be worked on at all throughout the compulsory pit stop window. The only thing you can do is change drivers, and that was a bit of an issue for car 90 in race 3, the first race this afternoon. They did tyre pressures during the compulsory pit stop, and as a result they had to come in for a second pit stop. It was considered as a mechanical pit stop, not a compulsory pit stop. So
well, you've got to be careful on those nuances, don't you?
Yeah, hence the reason why the 90 at the Begg car had to do 2 pit stops in the last race.
Here's our race leader into the pits, and in comes Rick Bates as well. Come in. There goes Dimitri Agathos.
Not too many cars have waited for their pit stops in the 3 races we've had so far. The majority coming in early.
Race leader now in the C63, Carl Begg. And just up the road, a couple of cars that have already been through for their pit stops. It's car 1. Baratney and Sharon. Currently ground at the wheel. And did the wheel work yesterday. And it's Jason Miller in the car just in front there. But that AMG C63 is your current race leader as Beric Linton went into the pits in the race lead. Will emerge down in 16th. And we've got Colin Osborne in the number 13 Class C car. Who's leading Class C at the moment is Colin Osborne. So race leader in now. The C63 car number 90. Carl Begg at the wheel.
He was the race leader. Now that he's come into the pits, that has gone to the number 54 car of Kyle Orford.
Lotus leads.
Yeah.
There's the headline. Lotus leads. Kyle Orford. Probably out of the 3 Lotuses that entered this weekend, probably the one in the back of our minds we thought, that's not the one we'd expect to be out in front.
Yeah, I was thinking of Lotus Swarms to the front, but then that's a locust, isn't it? It's not a Lotus.
Yeah, no. Lotus is a very pretty flower that floats on the water. Or you can have it as a tea. I'd rather have it as my race car.
I'd rather have it as a race car too.
Absolutely. Begg back out now in the thick of things. Chris Lillis into P4, but not pit stop. Let's have a look. It's Beric Linton that is the first of our cars that have pit stop. And then it'd be Begg, who's come out, and Grant Sherrin, and Rick Bates, Jason Miller, Jim Policina. One of the things I noticed just there at the pit stops was that Rick Bates came in, and before he had pulled up to a complete stop, he put the wheel on almost full lock left, so when his time's up, the car's already heading in the right direction. Everyone tends to pull the car up with a straight wheel, and then you turn the wheel while you're stationary, and on a very warm race tyre, it tends to rip all the rubber out that's in contact with the ground. Oh, there's the Carademus Falcon, and that was George, currently in 7th on the road, just about went into the wall at turn 4, arrested it, all 4 wheels, smoke pouring off. Here's Colin Osborne now. He's only just exited the pits in the number 13. In fact, he went into the pits, the leader of Class 3. So that's Colin Osborne going slow there. It's only just been serviced.
Coulthard and Lillis racing in the A2 class. Currently 3rd and 4th on the track outright, and racing for 1st and 2nd in A2. As they make their way back down the straight to complete their 8th lap of the race.
Shots of the Lotus that was in the race lead now stationary in pit lane for Simply Sports cars. Really
rushing to smile in the background.
Yeah, he's doing his research too, making contact with people, updating his Twitter.
So, been a trooper.
He certainly has. He certainly has this weekend. Put in a great effort last weekend, somewhere in the middle of the world, somewhere following off-road racing, as this is a change. Now with Begg and car 1, which is Grant Sherrin. It's certainly a big push. Now that's for 10th and 11th on the road, so Sherrin goes through to 10th.
But effectively, after pit stops, for 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah.
Beric Linton still the leader in that regard. The cars that have had their pit stops. He is down in 9th place overall on the sheets at the moment. All the cars above him have yet to stop. Again, Grant Sherrin taking the 2nd race of the day, as he did yesterday as well. Hopefully it works out better for him this time round. A bit of a spin and a touch of the wall yesterday. Saw a fair bit of damage to the front of that BMW M4. The 777 car there. Currently leading Class D and doing well overall as well, up into 15th place.
It's a very strong showing for the Class D car there at the moment. In fact, they're gazumping a number of A1 cars, including Lee Burgess in the Merc, Aaron Russell in their car, Lachlan Gibbons in the WRX. The first of the Class C cars is Blake Orban, Callan Jones, Dominic Mertens. The first of the B1, the second of the B1 cars. First of the B1 cars at the moment is Mick Benton, who has not stopped. So currently sitting in 9th, will probably drop off that pace. The number 64 rounding the number 66 there. So that's currently 2nd place on the road, but hasn't done a pit stop against Lachlan Gibbons in the 66, who has stopped. So it's an A2 car, the big Holden, and pit bound as we speak. And Lachlan Gibbons goes on his merry way in the full gas racing Subaru. Car, which will now have been swapped over. It'll have Nathan Callahan at the wheel, who drove a ripping first half of the race earlier on today. Absolutely drove the wheels off this Commodore, so it'll be interesting to see if he can maintain the rage and bring this car home in a strong position there. Currently rejoined the race in 13th spot, and as far as A2 cars go, they're still 2nd on the road. It'll be Carl Begg in the Mercedes Class C car of Colin Osborne. Is it going slow, or is it just the closing speed of the Class A1 and A2 cars there?
So Drew Ridge, the leading car at the moment, still yet to take his pit stop, and with a time of around about 1:10 to 1:20 for a pit stop, we could find Drew Ridge come back into the race in around about 9th or 10th.
Nathan Callahan didn't waste any time in putting the wheels out over the back of the ripple strip there and sending some stones skyward. And now he's cracking it sideways, certainly not wasting any time getting used to the power under the right foot there. Not even one lap completed. He's been out the back of the ripple strip, and now he's sliding it, wheels ablaze, tyres ablaze through turn 1. Storms on past the BMW. Wow, have a look at the speed that HSV's got on the go.
So look at this. There's Russell and the nimbler BMW.
Cracking it sideways there. Good bit of Aussie muscle there. It's number 54 again. Alford car. Currently in 7th place. Kyle Alford at the wheel of that Lotus. And just up the road, that will be the 83 of Rick Bates. So they're actually 6th and 7th currently on the road. The only car left to pit is the race leader. Car number 5 of Ridge. And compulsory pit stop window is still open. I think it's got about another 4 minutes or so to do that. Here's this great little Simply Sports Cars Lotus. And continue its way underneath the Penrite Bridge.
Derek Linton remains our leader of the cars that have had their pit stop. Drew Ridge will have to do one very, very soon. I'd suggest it's going to be either this or the next lap. Otherwise, there will be some penalties handed out for missing out on that compulsory pit stop window.
Colin Osborne again slowing. Was leading Class C. It's now Blake Orban that's leading Class C. Callan Jones in 2nd place there in Class C. There's Brock going through, currently 23rd in the MG Motorsports outfit.
Doing a good job, that MG.
He kept out of trouble.
Yeah.
One of the very simple goals for the team was to be reliable too, so they've proven that at this point. I guess the next big test for it will be a 4-hour.
Yeah.
In one stint, that'll be or a 3-hour or something like that. That's a real test.
We haven't really seen what the Lotus can actually provide also, as they've had situations where they've got up towards the top of the timesheets and then all of a sudden something has gone wrong. Either someone's hit them or they've had an issue. There is our leader, Drew Ridge. Will this be the moment that he comes into the pits? With only a couple of minutes left on the clock for that compulsory pit stop window, I would suggest that Drew Ridge needs to consider quite seriously going straight, but he doesn't. He veers left and stays on the track.
Well, I've just been sent a text from Amanda at Production Cars, and the rule is there's a bulletin which was released yesterday. The compulsory pit stop window shall open 10 minutes after the commencement of the formation lap and close 50 minutes after the commencement of the formation lap.
So still got 15 minutes.
I suppose the good feeling of being actually in the lead of a race is something you want to cherish for as many laps as you possibly can.
So the strategy that Drew Ridge is obviously going with is he's hoping that there's going to be a safety car at some point between now and the 50-minute mark. Would that be right?
I'm not sure what the strategy is. I've always been one, get it done early.
Yeah.
Unless there's a weather situation. If you start the race on wets and it looks like it's going to dry, then you stay on the wets as long as you possibly have to, and that can throw something in it. Or if there's an extended safety car early on in the race, you can take advantage of it as well.
So Drew Ridge remains our leader on the track. With the cars, though, that have had a pit stop, and that is all bar Drew Ridge. It is Berwick Linton who is our leader, an 11-second gap between him and Grant Sherrin. That was 13 a few minutes ago, so that BMW M4 making a slight improvement on the lead of the M3. Begg in 4th, Policina in 5th, Bates in 6th, Alford, Miller, and Burgess rounding up our top 10 cars in that Mercedes. But Drew Ridge, I should say, sorry, remains our leader on the track.
So here we have the race leader going into the pits.
Finally.
So, Drew Ridge has strung that out, and there goes our race leader now, Berwick Linton, not too far behind. He really closed up. Just watching this car come over those bumps where it goes over the tunnel at the causeway there as well. It's riding nicely. It's distributing the weight back forward on the car. So not stressing the tyre. Really done some rapid and effective development work. And into the pits goes Drew Ridge, car number 5. And we get Drew out of the number 5. Of course, we're talking about Queensland Raceway. That is on the 26th, 27th and 28th of July. The next round is at Phillip Island on the 1st, 2nd and 3rd of June. Oh, lock up there for Rick Bates, and Lee Burgess goes through. Lachlan Gibbons goes through.
Kyle Alford could go through if Lachlan Gibbons could just pick it up and fraction.
That's got a flat. That's got a flat. The number 83 of Rick Bates has got a flat left front.
That'll turn to a puncher shortly.
Yeah, he would certainly know what's going on now. He's getting some fairly rapid feedback through the wheel. And he's just let Team Boss go through, albeit that Bob is down in 15th. It's unlapping himself there. So Rick Bates will come to the lane. In fact, he's all dinged up.
Yeah, he's had a hit, hasn't he?
Yep, all dinged up there. So here's a replay. There it is. There it is right there. It was deflating before it locked up.
But what did he hit?
I'm not sure. He maybe just damaged it off a ripple strip or something like that.
No, but that definitely the right-hand side of that car was damaged.
Yeah. Yeah, the side trim is dragging on the ground there as well. So it's talking about consistency. The wobbles down the side of the Carademus Russell car, they're fairly consistent. They wobble in and out all the way down each side of the car. They've really given that Falcon a test this weekend.
Oh, it's been banged up.
The brakes glowing red hot in the number 90. Under heavy attack now by the Coulthard Simon Hodges car. See if the
the
Mercedes still glowing up its brakes there. So dying light starts to appear. It's spectacular to see the glowing brakes. 30 seconds left in this race for race leader Berwick Linton.
The Falcon nearly found another Lotus.
The number 90 is leading A2. So the car we're looking at there, car 90, is leading Class A2 and is 3rd on the road. So leading A2 and a podium outright. Really strong start to that. And coming out of turn 4, there is Berwick Linton, lights ablaze. We need them for real in about 20 minutes' time.
I'll be turning mine on in my car very shortly.
Heavy carrying up the hill, heater on too, I reckon, Tone. And up to the top of the hill in the production dark blue, a really smart colour, in fact, on the road, that car. Maybe not in dark wintry Melbourne conditions, but certainly on the Gold Coast or something like that. A nice dark blue. Look at that, glowing up the front brakes there. So has Berwick Linton relinquished? Has he given up? Absolutely not. If you're glowing up the brakes, you're leaning on them pretty hard, aren't you?
Yeah, he certainly is, and comes around for the final turn of this race 4 here in the Jacuzzi Spas Australian Production Car Series, round 1. It is Berry Clinton who takes the win from Grant Sherrin. They cross the line now in second place. Colbeg, Policina, Alford making up our top 5. Oh, gee whiz, Fedicum, it doesn't get.
Gee whiz, Fedicum.
Bates, goodness me.
Oh no, look, there's bits of wheel spaces and all sorts of stuff flying off.
So he had the puncher a few laps before. They got the new tyre on, and I would suggest that maybe they didn't get on tight enough. Berry Clinton takes the win, an 11-second victory ahead of Grant Sherrin, the BMW M3 first, the BMW M4 second. Its German cousin, the Mercedes C63 of Carl Begg in third place. Jim Policina and Cole Alford, fantastic result there for the 2 Lotus Exesias. The Mitsubishi Evo of Jason Miller in 6th. Lee Burgess in the Mercedes in 7th. Thomas Muller and Aaron Russell in their BMW 1Ms, finishing 8th and 9th, ahead of that super-powered Commodore of Nathan Callahan in 10th place.
Oh, look, it was good. Lucky there was no rain because we wouldn't have been the Masters, so we're lucky that after Friday it was dry for all 4 races and it suited our car. Look, it was all good, pretty much hassle-free. Unfortunately, the Sherrins had some trouble, so we didn't get to race them hard all weekend, but, you know, they'll bounce back, and that's what a championship's about.
We'd love to see all of you at every single one of our rounds throughout the year. Of course, Phillip Island on the 1st, 2nd and 3rd of June. A huge weekend down there. Get down to Melbourne's playground, Phillip Island for the weekend, and come to the Shannons Nationals.
Coming up after the break, the Hyundai Excels converge on Mount Panorama Bathurst as our support category coverage from the High Tech Oils Bathurst 6 Hour continues.